Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Monday. Hope your work week's off to a good start. We'll work 5 days this week. How about that? It's been a little bit. We'll get back into the swing of things here full time in this week, and things are certainly in full swing over there at LSU and across the college football world. We will talk transfer portal a ton over the next couple of hours. Got Jordan Kitchens, Cassie Spitali back there on the ones and twos, and plenty to get to. We're going to talk about Sam Leavitt here. I want to get to that in a second. But as kind of an entree to that, we're going to talk about his injury coming up at the end of this hour. It was a Lisfranc injury. He had surgery around Halloween. So we'll talk with Dr. Jeffrey Hogan from Oxner about the general recovery from that injury at 1:45. Denton Day going to be with us at 2:30 talking college football playoff. Got to talk about the Saints as they finish with a loss, but was it kind of a win on Sunday? We'll talk about that a little bit. LSU basketball loses on Saturday as well. So lots and lots to do. Let's crank it up the way we do every day with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive. Presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
So let's talk about quarterback at LSU because right now they literally don't have one. Michael Van Buren just went into the transfer portal. Colin Hurley's already gone into the transfer portal. Garrett Nussmeier's accepted an invite to a bowl game. He's out of eligibility. You have no quarterbacks. None, zero, nada. None. So you got to go get quarterbacks. And I think for the LSU staff, Lane Kiffin, Charlie Weiss Jr., the first choice is Trinidad Chambliss. Makes sense. Trinidad Chambliss is the talk of the college football world right now. And he already knows Lane Kiffin's system, and he already knows Charlie Weiss's system, and that would be the first guy. But he's having right now to convince the NCAA that having his tonsils taken out cost him a season at Ferris State. That's what we're getting into. Medical records have been sent out, and they're trying to go through that process to get that waiver applied. Get him another year. And oh, by the way, he agreed to terms with Ole Miss in the wee hours of this morning. So that's not an option. Trinidad Chambliss not coming here. He may be going to the NFL, maybe going back to Ole Miss. He's not coming to LSU. And I think the next guy that they really, really wanted to look into was Brendan Sorsby. He had really good season this past year at Cincinnati. Good athlete, good arm, very productive, older player. But Texas Tech made him a priority. They offered him over $5 million, and his girlfriend goes to school there. So you were swimming upstream with that one. They got him to campus, brought him in for a visit. He's going to Texas Tech. They've already got a billboard up in Times Square welcoming him to Lubbock. A little bit of difference between Times Square and Lubbock, but good touch. So it's on to the next one for LSU. And the next one for LSU is Sam Leavitt. The reporting over at On3 suggests that Sam Leavitt's beginning his visit to LSU right now, which was 1 o'clock on Monday. So they'll take him in, they'll roll out the red carpet, they'll make their case to Sam Leavitt. And there are layers to this and there are different factors to this, but this is very important for LSU. It's important for LSU to get Sam Leavitt to Baton Rouge. There are other options, and they will field other quarterbacks, but I think Leavitt is the best option left on the board. You're talking about a player that led his team to the playoff a year ago. This season that we just finished, he was banged up. But you look at his career statistics at Arizona State, he's a 61% completion guy. He has thrown 34 touchdowns against 9 interceptions. He is a good athlete with a big arm, with big game experience and a lot of starting experience in the power conferences. He's got every tool that Lane Kiffin needs from his quarterback. He's not 6'6". He doesn't have the strongest arm in the country. He doesn't run a 4.35, but he's a good athlete with a good enough arm and a lot of experience and a lot of production. And he's played very well when given the opportunity. The other piece of this puzzle is the injury. which he suffered in October and had surgery somewhere around Halloween. I couldn't find a definite date for that, but somewhere late October, early November, he had the surgery. He's not going to be available in all likelihood for spring football. So you would have a quarterback coming in to be your starter that can't work on the offense in the spring. That's not ideal, but he's played a lot. He's talented, and I trust Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss to put quarterbacks in positions to succeed. So this is a guy I think that has to be a priority, has to be the priority, because you start to look through the rest of the options here. Byron Brown has not officially committed to Auburn, but he's leaving South Florida. He's likely to head to Auburn. Dylan Raiola, not a name that's been connected to LSU all that much. DJ Lagway hasn't really either, and that's not one that I'm super enamored with, to be candid. Deuce Knight could become an option. He played well down the stretch when given an opportunity for Auburn. He was a 5-star in last year's class. Then you start to get to like Austin Simmons, who Missouri's very high on. You've got Michigan State transfer Aiden Childs. You got Bo Prabula. Like, it feels like you kind of drop off here if you don't go get Sam Leavitt. And I think that LSU needs to make that a priority and try to make that happen. Now, we know that Leavitt visited Kentucky, was scheduled to visit Texas Tech, but canceled that visit because Sorsby agreed there. And I wanted this morning to look at the options of Kentucky and LSU and just completely dismiss Kentucky. And I candidly had to check myself at that point. I got to go, okay, wait a second. Because my impulse, my reaction, my instinct is to go, well, this guy is a good player. He's been to the playoff. He's not going to go to Kentucky when he could go to LSU and play for Lane Kiffin in that offense. Like, that's not even a question. Well, wait a second. I got a Final Four that includes Indiana and Ole Miss. Okay? I got Vanderbilt winning 10 games and signing 5-star kids that were committed to Georgia at quarterback. Okay? This is a different world. It's not all NIL, but just because I think Kentucky has sucked my entire life, that doesn't mean they can't throw some money around and then say, hey, and by the way, like, there's tons of teams in our orbit traditionally that are at the top of the sport now. We're going to be there. We got a new coach. He's won a bunch of games, calling plays for Oregon. We're going to spend some money. We've got some players in the transfer portal on defense, and we're going to be good. And you could believe that. Like, I'm not telling you that is going to happen, but it's foolish for me in analyzing these situations to go, well, he's never going to pick Kentucky over LSU. We could. Like, it happens now. So I don't know what Sam Leavitt's timeline is. I don't know what he's looking for, and I don't know where he's headed after Baton Rouge, if he heads anywhere after Baton Rouge. But in reading the room and looking at the portal, assessing the options and understanding where LSU is at the quarterback spot, which is none, this is important. This guy can be a difference maker. And of all the things that LSU's having to address in the transfer portal, and it's a lot, nothing is as impactful as the quarterback spot. They've made 3 or 4 additions. It changes, by the half hour, but they've made some additions on the offensive side. They got a running back, they got a tight end, they got a wide receiver, and they'll continue to add that, and you're rebuilding everything offensively. You certainly got to hammer the offensive line. But quarterback is the number one spot. And truthfully, the first 2 guys on your board didn't work out. Chambliss, extenuating circumstances, can't wait for the waiver, makes an agreement with Ole Miss. All that makes a ton of sense. And then you look at Sorsby. He picks the huge money offer and the girlfriend, team that went into the playoff. I understand. You got to prioritize Leavitt. This is a guy that LSU's got to find a way. You may have to overspend. And that's the hard part from my chair. Because my opinion, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't really matter. But I'm here to offer it. That's why I sit in the chair for 2 hours. And it's hard to analyze how much you're spending on guys versus the market and whether it's a positive signing or a negative signing. All I can do is look at the player that you got. It's not like the MLB, it's not like the NBA, it's not like the NFL, where all the dollars and cents are visible and above board, and you can analyze who's in a good cap situation, who's in a good contract situation, who's got bad money on the books. All these things are very, very readily available. I don't have that when it comes to LSU or Kentucky or Texas Tech. I don't know. But I know in terms of on the field, playing quarterback, the skills you need, the production that you've had, all of these things, Leavitt checks these boxes. The only concern is the injury. I don't have any information on what that recovery is like. That's why we're talking to a doctor in 40 minutes. And we'll figure out kind of what that looks like. But he's a really good player who's played a lot of good football, and he's on your campus right now, if the reporting's correct, and it needs to be closed. This is the guy LSU needs to hitch its wagon to in 2026. There will be others, and if he moves on, there will be others. But I think this is the guy that gives you the highest upside. Again, he found a quarterback at Ferris State last year, so you never truly know. But I'll tell you this. If you're giving me the option of trying to find the next Trinidad Chambliss at Ferris State or trying to find a Power 4 starter that started in the playoff, I'll probably take that guy. Probably take the second one. Just generally speaking, going to be a more efficient and effective way to go rebuild your roster. So Sam Leavitt on campus at LSU. Got to make that happen here over the next day or so. We'll see when he decides to depart town, but hopefully he's got a signature here in Baton Rouge when he does. That's our opening drive here on this Monday. We've got lots and lots and lots to do. It's not just quarterback. You've also got some offensive additions. We'll get to those coming up in 20, 25 minutes or so. When we come back, Saints wrapped up their season. It's hard to talk about that 3 hours, but if you talk about the last 3 months, I think things are really trending positively for the Saints. We'll talk about it next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Marucci, what a gym here in Baton Rouge. Love telling you about my friends over at Marucci. If you've got a young baseball player, young softball player under your roof, take them over to Marucci. Baseball season, softball season, both right around the corner. The weather's nice today, but not always the case this time of year. But the weather's always nice at the indoor batting cages at Marucci. So if you're ready to get tuned up for the season, you got that new bat for Christmas, want to go try it out, go hit in the cages over at Marucci. And while you're there, take a campus tour. Go check out a campus tour over at Marucci. They make 1,200 bats a day there. You can see how that is done over at Marucci. One of the coolest things here about Baton Rouge is that this backyard shop turned into the official bat of Major League Baseball. You can step right into the heart of all of it over at Marucci. Right here in Baton Rouge, it is Marucci.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
This new year, Hood Dental wants you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays, a $376 value. With over 3,000 5-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care, Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And for January only, save 15% up to $150 on restorative treatment. Schedule today at hooddentalcare.com.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me. Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. Helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Chugging along here on this Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us, kind of getting back into the swing of things for most folks this time of year. Appreciate you making us part of your day. Saints finished things up on Sunday with a loss to the Atlanta Falcons. And I'll be honest, yesterday was kind of a microcosm of the entire 17-game slate for New Orleans to me. What do I mean when I say that? It's not a successful season by NFL standards because you didn't make the playoffs, you got last place in your division. Like, that's bad. Like, you just put it in front of you. It's bad. It's bad to be last place. That's bad, right? It's bad to lose the game to the Falcons, right? It's bad to lose. You're literally out there, as Coach Edwards say, you play to win the game. And they lost. So those are bad in a vacuum. But Sunday wasn't bad for the Saints, and this season was not bad for the Saints. In fact, both were good. Both were good. The Saints managed to do essentially just what they needed to do this year. They found their quarterback. That is massive. And it's done. He was marvelous the last month and change of the season. And he was good on Sunday. Yeah, the interception was not great, but that's a really good play by an instinctive veteran player that left his route and jumped one and made a play on it. It's going to happen sometimes. Unless you play for the Jets and you never get an interception the whole year. But it's going to happen sometimes. But you found your quarterback. He was great. You got your young drafted players onto the field. And you saw positive returns from Quincy Riley. Little bit from Devin Neal. You saw some positive returns from Jonas Sanker and Kelvin Banks. That's positive. Danny Stutzman gave you something late in the season. You saw your draft class get to the field and make some plays. Very, very positive. I thought Kellen Moore got better as the year went on. He did some things in September I did not like at all. He gave some answers I did not like at all. But by the end of the season, his play calling was better. Thought the Saints were more aggressive. And they played a lot better. And yeah, like they did. They beat some teams with losing records. Got it. The Jets aren't good. I understand that. I'm aware that Tennessee stinks. I know the Panthers are not a great team. But the Saints roster is not good. And Kellen Moore was coaching a not good roster against other not good rosters and winning. So you found your quarterback. Your young draftable players got to the field. Your coach did a better job. You won some games. And oh, by the way, your defense, which is aging, showed up and was one of the better units in the league down the stretch. You know the Saints finished 9th in the league in total defense? 9th. Brandon Staley's group, which got outclassed some early in the season, some of that was due to poor play, some of that was due to playing better teams, some of that was due to the offense not helping them at all, but not really moving the ball. But your defense was well coached. And so that's a positive. And while you were getting all those positives lined up, young players, quarterback, coach, defense, everything moving in the right direction. You still managed to get the 8th pick in the draft and stick to that 4th place schedule. And I talked about it on Friday. And I know that in the moment on Sunday, when the Falcons beat you and swept you, that doesn't feel great as a Saints fan. I get it. But just trade your feelings in, because that's all this is feelings. You weren't making the playoffs if you won yesterday anyway. It's just feelings about losing to the Falcons. Kick your feelings to the curb and realize that instead of playing likely Mahomes and the Chiefs, I understand the injury, likely Jaden Daniels and the Commanders and the 49ers, you're trading that in for a grab bag full of Cardinals and Giants and Jets and Browns and that whole crew. And it's 3 games worth. That's not insignificant. 3 games is not insignificant. And I realize that I don't know exactly what the Chiefs look like next year and exactly what the Cardinals look like next year. I don't know exactly what Washington looks like, exactly what the Giants look like. I don't know exactly what you're going to get next fall. I realize that. But aren't you playing the numbers here? Aren't you playing the percentages that the Raiders are going to be significantly worse than the Chiefs? That the Cardinals are worse than the 49ers? That the Giants are worse than the Commanders? Like, just playing the odds. And if you feel like, as a Saints fan, that you've got a real chance to make the playoffs next year, why wouldn't you right now? Look at your division. It's a joke. That trade is worth it. Sorry about the way you felt yesterday afternoon. Sorry about it. I know you don't like Atlanta. I know you don't like getting swept by those guys. I understand. Who gives a rip? It's over. They're not going to the playoffs either. Now, you've got the 4th place schedule. You've got the 8th pick in the draft. You've got all those good things that happened. It wasn't like Shuck went out there and threw 4 picks and looked completely bewildered. He made some plays to get you back in the game. And who did he make those plays with? As I tweeted out yesterday, basically the Washington Sentinels from the Replacements movie. Hand up. I'm not too proud. I'm not too proud. I'll just say it. They had 2 guys playing wide receiver on Sunday I never heard of. Never heard of in my life. I cover the team. Now, I don't go to practice. I don't see the practice squad, and I'm not there paying attention to every roster spot way down the line. But, like, they got guys out there running routes yesterday I have never freaking heard of. And that's who Tyler Shuck is dealing with. Tyler Shuck was out there the last month of that season. You traded Rashid Shaheed. He got comfortable with Vele. He missed. Then you go out there on Sunday. Chris Olave's not there. Your left tackle gets hurt. He's not playing. You hadn't had your center. Eric McCoy is the best player on the offense. He's not there. Running back, no Kamara, no Neal. You got nothing. He had no players. And he's still out there producing, winning to the corner, to the pylon against an NFL defender. Throws for 259 and a touchdown. He's out there targeting Ronnie Bell and Samoe Tureau. I don't even know who that is. I don't know who those people are. And you got Tyler Shuck out there with them. So get this guy some help. Plug it in to that schedule. And all of a sudden, you've got a drastically different conversation than we had 6 weeks ago. So yeah, Sunday felt bad. Wasn't fun. And yeah, you don't want to think about the 2025 season where you had 6 wins. Like, that's not fun to think about. But when you put it in context and realize what that season and what Sunday produced, the season produced the foundation of the rebuild, starting with the quarterback. And the loss cemented a 4th place schedule for next year when the games actually do matter, because the last month didn't matter, wins and losses. Like, this is a positive. The season was a positive. Sunday was a positive. And the vibes around this franchise, the vibes around this organization, the vibes around this fan base have got to be so much better than they were 6 weeks ago. I don't know that Audric Estime and Dante Pettis are going to be key cogs in the next great Saints team. Maybe they are, but maybe they're not. But some of the guys that were out there this weekend are. And it's an exciting thing to think you have your quarterback, to think you have your coach, to think your defensive coordinator's got things the way he wants them on that side of the ball, and to think that you've got another high draft pick and a manageable schedule, we think, coming. That's all very, very positive. And if you're a Saints fan right now, right here today, sitting here on a 6-11 team that is not even 24 hours done yet, and you think we're making the playoffs next year, you're not crazy. That's not a crazy thought. They got work to do. They got a lot of work to do because that roster is not very good. It's got to get healthy, and they've got to infuse it with some more. Got to get more help at wide receiver. You've got to make sure you know what you're doing at running back, and you got to shore up your offensive line. But those are things that can be done over time. And as we talked about extensively last week, having your franchise quarterback on a rookie deal allows you a lot of flexibility to move money around. So does drafting really well. It looks like this past draft was good, if not great. And hopefully you got one more of those in, and then you're back in the mix. That's what it takes. It takes a coach, a quarterback, 2 drafts. You can be back. That's it. And the Saints are now in position to make that happen. So I know, a bummer of a day on Sunday, but should be very, very excited if you're a New Orleans Saints fan. Luckily, I've got one of those behind the microphone over there on the other side of the monitors. I know you wanted Sunday's win, but I will award you now the Cardinals, the Giants, and the Raiders. There you go.
I mean, it's cool. I don't really have an issue with losing the game per se. I have more of a problem with the Panthers fans celebrating like they accomplished something this season. Like they was, we're going to the playoffs. We're not supposed to be here. Yeah, y'all not supposed to be here. That you're 100% right. So I get it. They're happy, but it's like you would think the Panthers ran away with the division how they were celebrating.
And so, as I suggest that you don't have to worry about your feelings with the Falcons thing, you realize, and this is what I'll gift you for here, that's the competition that you've got to deal with to win the division. Yeah. The Panthers. Have you seen them play?
Oh, trust me, I have.
Trash.
Hey, and so they get the first place schedule, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So they're going to get blessed next year. We're going to see, and you get a top 10 pick. I feel like that's what's really
they'll get Philly.
In disguise.
They'll get the Rams or they'll get Philly, the Seahawks, and then in that division, Denver or.
I know the NFC South next year we're playing the AFC North, so we play the Steelers and them and the Ravens, and I think we play the NFC. I saw the Saints play the Bears, so I think we play the NFC North and the AFC North next year. So I'm just more. Let's see what this draft pick looks like. Let's see what are you looking for? A receiver?
He needs to be about 6'4". Run a 4.4 and catch everything in sight. That's what he needs to look like. Okay, that's what he needs to look like.
Thank God we have one of those in Arizona right now, Jordan Tyson.
Yes, that's him. So, that's what it needs to look like.
You got to come away with best player available at we'll see. I just think the Saints, you just got to nail this pick, and then now you're looking at, man, this could be special.
I mean, tell me the truth.
I'm here for you.
How locked in were you on who Ronnie Bell is 10 o'clock on Sunday morning?
I had no idea who Ronnie Bell was until he caught the one-handed touchdown. I was like, okay, I guess Ronnie Bell. I mean, look, Hunt, Kevin Austin, or Calvin, whatever, Kevin Austin. Dude, listen, man. You had every opportunity to make a change for your life yesterday, and yet you couldn't catch a cold.
No.
All right, you got Ronnie Bell. Is he from Michigan, if I'm not mistaken? I don't have no clue where he played ball at.
I just clicked his, Michigan.
Oh, he played at Michigan. Okay, so I know a little
Seventh rounder by the San Francisco 49ers
exactly,
3 years ago.
Yeah, so, you're out there with Ronnie Bell, Dante Pettis, and Kevin Austin, and Chuck almost pulled it off. He almost pulled it off.
He had the Washington Sentinels out there.
Literally. Hunt, there was one injury away from
flip over his car.
There was one injury away from giving me a call and be like, hey, man, how fast you can get out here to Atlanta right now? We need a receiver. So let's get Chuck some help.
Jeez, got to. I think it was a positive. Good year for the Saints. Positive season. We'll talk a lot about it moving forward. All right, we come back. We'll go back to the transfer portal. LSU has added 3 players on the offensive side. I'll tell you about them next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing. You can find them online, lifetimeroofingla.com. It is the new year. We're into January, and they are so proud over at Lifetime Roofing to be able to offer a lifetime workmanship warranty on your new roof. Lifetime workmanship warranty. It's incredible. Something you just don't see in the roofing world. And we understand that Things happen down here. If you're interested in having a lifetime workmanship warranty on your roof, Lifetime Roofing needs to be your first phone call. If you're interested in financing a roof, whether it's the entire roof that you need to get put on your house maybe for a resale, or maybe you've got a deductible that's elevated and you want to finance that as well, they can do that over at Lifetime Roofing. 0% for 18 months. Find them online at Lifetime Roofing LA. They've been here in Baton Rouge for half a decade. Got a gorgeous new facility there just off of College Drive. They're part of this community. They care about this community. They want to help this community, and that's why they're proud to offer that lifetime workmanship warranty. It's Lifetime Roofing. You can find them online, lifetimeroofingla.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim, which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home, with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit louisianapropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All right, transfer portal is open. Transfer portal is happening. You can't keep up if you try. They're trying nationally, guys from the National Recruiting Services, keeping up best they can. But there are visits, there are entrants, there are signatures, commitments. It just goes very, very quickly. So I want to talk about the additions that LSU has made to this point. The first addition that LSU made was the addition of Hawaii wide receiver Jackson Harris. Jackson Harris is a guy that I wrote about Portal Profile on the website louisianasports.net earlier this morning. He's an interesting prospect. He was a prep star in Berkeley in California, a 3-star recruit, signed with Stanford, and he was there for 2 years, made 3 catches his first year, 3 catches his second year, and then transferred to Hawaii, where he really emerged as a big piece to the Warriors offense. As a redshirt sophomore, he did get a redshirt year his first year. He caught 49 passes for 963 yards for just under 20 yards per catch. He also scored 12 touchdowns, which led the Mountain West. He's 6'3", and he's got really good speed. He had 5 catches of 60-plus yards, and 4 times he had 70-plus yard touchdowns for Hawaii. The tools are certainly there. Pro Football Focus graded him as an 83.9 in the receiving game. He made 14 contested catches on 21 contested targets, had only 3 drops the entire season. So, LSU needs wide receivers. They don't have really any. They got Phillip Wright still on the roster and Nick Anderson still on the roster. That's it from the 2021-2025 team. You got Jabari Mack coming. You've got Corey Barber coming. You've got Braden Allen coming. But that's only 5 guys, and you don't have any real proven production in that group beyond Nick Anderson 2 years ago. So you got to get some dudes, and this is a guy that's got size. He's got speed. He's got playmaking ability. He's got to step up in class here from Hawaii and the Mountain West to the SEC. But I thought looked like a pretty toolsy addition from Lane Kiffin. Next addition was a running back from Utah, Racine Guillory. And this one is interesting as well because Guillory looks like a nothing signature. This is a guy who played a year at Utah. He had 1 rush for 4 yards. He's 5'9", 190. What's the deal? Well, there's a little bit more to this story with Racine Guillory. He was considered one of the top backs in all of Texas in his class. And then he reclassified. When he reclassified and skipped a year, he was supposed to be in this senior class. He actually just finished his first year at Utah. He was committed to Texas. Longhorns were all over him. Lane Kiffin, Kevin Smith, and Ole Miss were all over him as well. But ultimately, he reclassified. Things changed. He went to Utah. He's got track speed. He's a Texas track guy. And he's a little bit undersized, but he's very shifty, very agile, very fast, and a guy that was thought of very, very highly in his class, but he's just very young. So now he's got a year of college seasoning in a college weight program, and now he comes on to a coaching staff that's familiar with him, and he is really talented. And they're not asking him to come in and be the bell cow back here. Harlan Berry is going to be a pretty good player for LSU next year. But this one, you've got to go a little bit deeper into the story to realize he was a former Texas commit, one of the top backs in the class, reclassified, ended up at Utah, was a young player there, didn't necessarily get to the field quickly. He redshirted this past year, so he's got eligibility, plenty of it, left 4 years. And it's a guy that the staff obviously liked when he was in high school. They like right now, so they bring in Racine Guillory at running back. He joins Harlan Berry. Those are the 2 running backs on LSU's roster right now. And the third addition was tight end from Pittsburgh. Malachi Thomas is the next ad. He's the third portal ad for LSU. 6'4", 230 pounds, Pittsburgh. He played in 13 games as a freshman on special teams, played last year for Pitt as kind of their second tight end. He was slated to be the starter in the following season, had 13 catches, 192 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's not a guy that you immediately pencil in right to the front of the list. We know that LSU has got Trey'Dez Green in that spot, and they also bring J.D. LaFleur back. They signed J.C. Anderson, who Lane Kiffin and his staff targeted at Ole Miss and flipped him over to LSU at the end. So now you've got 4 tight ends. There are not a lot of places on the roster where your numbers look pretty good. There's almost none on the offensive side of the ball where your numbers look pretty good. Tight end, LSU's numbers look pretty good. Trey'Dez Green's a star. J.D. LaFleur is huge. J.C. Anderson comes in as a freshman, and then you add a third-year player in Malachi Thomas, who's got some size to him as well, has played in the ACC. So that's just a depth add right there for LSU. So those are your additions. Jackson Harris, wide receiver from Hawaii. Racine Guillory, running back from Utah, and Malachi Thomas, the tight end from Pittsburgh. It's going to be fast and furious from now on out. I was talking to Alondra in the hall before we went on. I was like, how many portal commitments do you think they'll get while I'm on the air? And I put the number at 2, just guessing. And we'll see. I don't believe there has been one to this point, but we'll keep things posted as we can. It develops very, very quickly. Sam Levitt is on campus for LSU right now, and that's a quarterback that LSU desperately wants to get into the fold here, to push off the dock with their signal caller for next year. Questions involving Levitt are generally around his injury. He sustained a Lisfranc injury, had surgery on that foot, and the prognosis is that he will not be ready to resume football activity in earnest until the late spring, after spring football is over. So you'd have some time for summer workouts, and every indication is that he should be ready for fall camp, but you obviously don't know until you know, and he had very serious surgery. So I decided, hey, pretty good idea maybe during our auctioner segment, which we have every other Monday, to chat about that situation. Now, y'all know that we can't speak directly to specific injuries, but we can talk about general thoughts around those injuries with the medical team from Auction. We'll do that when we come back. Dr. Jeffrey Hogan, good enough to give us a little bit of time here on this Monday to talk about Lisfranc injury, so we'll do that when we come back. Closing out hour number 1 on The Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. I was scrolling through Facebook today, saw our guy Brian Haldane. Talk 107.3 Mornings with Brian Haldane, also helps with production for me on the LSU Sports Radio Network. And he called David Duvall just a couple months ago and said, hey, can you come out and renovate our bathroom? We just need a new look in there. Man, did he ever. Brian put some great pictures up on his Facebook page, and I talked to him this morning at our company meeting. He said he was thrilled with David in terms of his professionalism, in terms of his work, and in the entire process with One Bath and Closets. You can do an entire bathroom renovation. They do that at One Bath and Closets, from the floors to the plumbing, showers, tubs, the vanity, the lot. They do the whole works over at One Bath and Closets. They can also do something simple like a tub to shower conversion. Make the same decision my guy Brian Haldane made across the hall, and have David Duvall come into your home and make that happen for you. It's One Bath and Closets. Check them out online, onebathandclosets.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers.
It's the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
LSU basketball lost back on Saturday. We'll talk about it in hour number 2, plus any developing transfer portal happenings. Get to all of that. We're closing out hour number 1 here. Always do that with our friends over at Ochsner. It's time for Sports Health, presented by Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Head out to Jim's Firearms Hotline. Talk to Dr. Jeffrey Hogan, sports medicine over at Ochsner. Dr. Hogan, thanks for the time. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on today.
It's our pleasure. Obviously, we understand we're not ever speaking in specifics here in terms of individual injuries, but as I was talking about in our previous segment, Sam Levitt, a quarterback from Arizona State, is on campus at LSU today, and he did suffer a Lisfranc injury playing earlier this fall, had surgery around Halloween, and so I just thought it'd be a good idea to maybe get some general information on what that entails as far as recovery. So, first of all, what is Lisfranc injury? We know it's around the foot, but can you help us out with that?
Yeah, great question. So it's an injury to the midfoot, typically the base of like your second toe, where a couple of those midfoot bones come together, and usually you put a big load on that while you're up on your toes. Football is a very common injury to see with that, and then the injury can range from anywhere from a sprain, a ligament kind of pull, or a stretch to that ligament, to a complete tear, bone fractures, to dislocations of those bones. So there can be a pretty wide variation in those injuries.
So we understand that there was a surgery involved here, and what you read from folks that are reporting on it from Arizona is that they're generally looking at 6 to 8 months here, and the thought is that he would not be able to return in spring football. Does that kind of sound like a reasonable timeline when something like that happens to a young male?
It sounds reasonable. I mean, honestly, typically when we're seeing these, I think I'm expecting more range of, even 8 to 10 months, maybe if not a little bit longer, as far as the recovery after surgery. With that, again, there can be pretty wide variability on how bad this injury was to begin with. So it can take a while. In general, though, like we see good return to sport once they get it fixed. If you could just give it enough time, we've had plenty of good examples, college, even into the pros, with these injuries, with guys getting back to sport.
So when you talk about the rehab and recovery, like what are the challenges that somebody may go through, and what activities may take the longest to return to?
It's a great question. I think generally the hardest part is getting back to that full mobility of your midfoot. You may not even realize how much your midfoot, you rely on that movement, the mobility with it. So any stiffness with that can really hamper your ability to, sprint, to cut, these agility movements. And so we see it more and more with basketball players, with football players who have to do a lot of cutting, getting back that full mobility. So you want to give it enough time to heal after the surgery. And then it's really working on those agility movements, that explosion, to work on getting that back. That's probably the toughest thing to regain.
Dr. Hogan, we really appreciate some time. Have a great week.
Thank you very much. Y'all take care.
He is Dr. Jeffrey Hogan with Ochsner at Ochsner Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute. We know that one of the sports injuries can be unpredictable, but one situation you can protect yourself from is heat illness. Not necessarily something that comes up this time of year, but we know where we live, and it comes around pretty quickly in the spring months. Some key signs to look out for: excessive sweating, dry mouth, dizziness, fast heart rate, or a change in mental status. If you feel any of those symptoms, stop physical activity, immediately find a place to cool off and replenish fluids. To learn more about sports injury prevention and treatment, visit ochsner.org/BRortho. And that was interesting, and I wanted to get Dr. Hogan's thoughts on that. It's a serious injury. I don't know anything about these things, and that's why it's great to have the resources that we do with the folks over at Ochsner. But the thought is that this is an injury that sustained at the end of October. So let's just call November month 1. November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. You're into August at that 10-month threshold. Now, Sam Levitt is young. He's in great shape. He's a great athlete. Maybe it's on the shorter end, as what Dr. Hogan's saying. Maybe you're closer to 8 months, so maybe closer to 4th of July. He's able to do a little bit more. But you understand that as far as like getting back to, he said you see a lot of good results in return to sports. It's just a matter of time. And you just don't have a lot of time when you're trying to learn a new system, learn all new wide receivers, learn all new offensive linemen, just not a ton of practice time. You would love to have a full spring. You're not going to get that if Sam Levitt comes to LSU. But to me, this is not coming from a doctor or a talent evaluator, I'm just telling you kind of how I feel about the situation. I would rather have the talented dude who's proven himself at this level, played in huge games, 2 years as a starter in the Power 4, coming off injury, than like go to Deuce Knight or go to DJ Lagway, they're healthy, but I've seen Levitt do it, and his production far outweighs what those guys have done, right? So to me, I would much rather see Sam Levitt come, even with the injury, then go further down the pecking order. That's why I started at the top of the show saying, like, this is the most important thing for LSU. You've got to get a quarterback, and you got to get one quickly, and you've swung and missed on 2. You can't strike out. That'd be the third one. It's kind of like a strikeout if that happens. So hopefully LSU is able to close the deal with Sam Levitt. And there's a little look at what you're looking at with a Lisfranc injury there in the foot. Serious, painful, time-consuming, but something that you do generally see a decent return to sport in, with what Dr. Hogan said there, which is great to hear. I want to remind you about Fabry Chevrolet GMC. They're on Highway 61 in St. Francisville under new ownership. Started up on October the 1st. Highway 61 in St. Francisville, Fabry Chevrolet GMC. You know the Fabry family. They've been in business here 35 years. You're talking about 3 locations, 5 different brands, and now they're thrilled to have the Chevrolet GMC point there in St. Francisville. So make the short drive up and see them. Chevy Tahoe, they got them. Chevy Silverados, they got them. Chevy Suburbans, they got them. You can see the whole inventory there at FabryChevrolet.com. They've also got the GMCs, the Sierras, Yukons, Denali's, looking for an SUV. Great spot to go check out the folks at Fabry Chevrolet and GMC. The entire inventory is online at FabryChevrolet.com. Again, they're on Highway 61 in St. Francisville, but check them out online, FabryChevrolet.com. All right, closing up hour number 1 here. I have covered a lot. We talked transfer portal, talked Sam Levitt, talked LSU ads, talked Saints as well. We got a ton to do in our second hour when we get to, let's see what the order of operations is. We'll talk some more portal, and we're going to talk LSU hoops as they get a loss on Saturday in College Station. And you know the injury to De'Don Thomas is a huge storyline that we have to discuss at 2:15. Denton Day is going to be with us. I need Denton to talk me off the ledge here. I can't have Ole Miss in the national championship game. I'm not here for that. I don't need to see that. I don't need to watch that. I don't need any of that. I need them out. I need LSU's coaches to come back. So we'll talk to Denton about what he thinks about the 2 semifinal games coming up. Friday night, you'll have Miami and Ole Miss. And then Saturday, you'll have the Big Ten matchup between Indiana. Thursday, you have Ole Miss and Miami. Friday, you have Indiana and Oregon. So we'll talk about all that with Denton. So plenty to do in hour number 2. To close out over the next 90 seconds or so, LSU women's basketball gets beat for the second time. They lose on Sunday in Nashville against a good Vanderbilt team, but they're 0-2. And it's an easy argument to make, but I just don't know that scheduling your non-conference to win every game by 65 points is the best way to go about it. Kim's a lot more accomplished than I am. She's forgotten more basketball than I'll ever know. She's firmly solidified as one of the greatest coaches in the history of the sport. And I'm not here to critique her coaching. I'm looking at this from 30,000 feet going, you're winning these games 114-40. And then you get into SEC play and you start 0-2. There are teams you can play that may prep you a little bit for that. So I'm sure they'll figure it out. Her teams have always gotten better as the season's gone on. And this one's got some firepower and they're going to get better. But it's easy. It's low-hanging fruit, I'm admitting, to look at that schedule and go, really? Like these lopsided scores, it just doesn't seem like a great recipe. But she knows what she's doing, and she'll see if she can get them get them figured out, as it's Lady Tigers 0-2 at this point in Southeastern Conference play after entering league play with an unbeaten record. All right, so we got a lot to do in hour number 2. Fired up, you're here with us on this Monday. I want to open the second hour talking about what's going on in the transfer portal. Big picture, LSU has had another entrant into the portal from the defensive line, so we'll get into that. Seeing some guys that have taken visits elsewhere from LSU that may land other places. One that landed at Texas A&M from the offensive line. So there's been a lot of movement when it comes to LSU in the portal. We'll talk about some of that. This is going to be a ridiculously wild week if things happen very, very quickly. It wouldn't surprise me if in the next 25 seconds we had something else break and we had to talk about that to open the hour. But we'll talk about that. LSU Hoops, Denton Day, plenty to get to in hour number 2. Appreciate you kind of starting your 2026 with us here on the Hunt Palmer Show. We have, if you missed any of the first hour, catch it on demand. And we'll come back with a busy hour number 2 after National Headlines of Sports Center.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust. Now, they've been at this for 116 years. They were founded in 1910, still doing it. You do something for 116 years, you're doing something right. And First American Bank and Trust certainly is doing a lot right. They've expanded to 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana. There's always one near you. Doesn't matter if you're here in Baton Rouge, over at Jones Creek, Dutchtown, maybe down St. James, St. John, Lafourche Parish, up on I-12, St. Tammany, Tangipahoa. First American Bank and Trust is here. And everyone that works in those branches, every decision that is made, it's all right here in the heart of our community in Southeast Louisiana. You don't have to call some line in Chicago or Seattle and hope you get somebody that might be able to look you up in the system. You get one of your community members right here at First American Bank and Trust. Stop in and see them at a branch today. Do your commercial banking with First American Bank and Trust.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google, based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient. And the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
With all the delicious chicken finger options, it was an impossible decision.
How about a box combo?
Good. Now what can I get for you?
No, I want a Caniac combo with extra cane sauce, no slaw, 2 extra toast, and a half sweet tea, half lemonade.
Celebrate the holidays with Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Add the Raiders, Cardinals, and Browns to the list of NFL teams with head coaching vacancies, along with the Giants, Titans, and Falcons. Kevin Stefanski fired following his 6th year in Cleveland. After 3 years in Arizona, Jonathan Gannon's out, and it is one and done in Vegas for Pete Carroll. Raiders lost by double digits 9 times, were held to fewer than 10 points 5 times, and ranked at the bottom in every major offensive category this season. So the team had no choice but to dismiss Carroll, says ESPN NFL analyst Dan Orlovsky.
They need such an influx in talent. It's remarkable to look at this football team and say, all right, this is going to be a much longer process. This will be their 6th head coach since 2021. So whoever you hire, you better make sure that you're committed to them long term, like literally 3 or 4 plus years.
Bengals bringing back Coach Zach Taylor and Director of Player Personnel Duke Tobin. Ole Miss quarterback Trinidad Chambliss agreed to a new deal that'll have him back with the Rebels in 2026 if the NCAA approves his pending waiver for a 6th season of eligibility.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Monday, we'll continue to get you ready for the college football playoff semifinals. So can all 4 teams actually win the championship? It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane's studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2. Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Appreciate you hanging out with us, talking basketball in 15 minutes. LSU loses to Vanderbilt. We'll talk to Denton Day about the college football playoff 30 minutes from right now. But we'll go back to the transfer portal here. LSU, very active. Have added 3 offensive players in the last 24 hours. And also, during that time, some former LSU Tigers made their announcements as to where they're going to be headed. 2 of them headed back to the Southeastern Conference. Cohen Eccles, one-time committed to Texas A&M. He's from Katy, Texas, just south of College Station there around Houston. And he is going to head back to Texas A&M to play for Mike Elko and the Aggies. Ahmad Bro is headed to Kentucky. And like every situation is different, right? Everyone has different motivations. Some players are purely motivated by money. Some players, it's a relationship thing. Sometimes it's geography and home. Sometimes it's guaranteed playing time. Sometimes it's a new adventure. Like there are different circumstances all the time for different players and different reasons. And I won't even like try to suggest I know what everyone's thinking. It is curious. Like the Cohen Eccles thing makes perfect sense to me. He was committed to Texas A&M. He then flipped his commitment to LSU, came to Baton Rouge, played a couple of years. His offensive line coach left. The entire offense is going to be taken apart. He goes back towards home to play for a really good program right next to his house. Like that makes all the sense in the world. And Texas A&M's losing 5 offensive linemen from this team. So that checks like every box for Eccles, right? I get it. The Bro one is interesting. That's a Ruston kid who comes to LSU, starts a couple of games as a freshman, is a key rotational piece as a sophomore. You're losing Jacobian Guillory. You're losing Bernard Gooden. I realize Kyle Williams moves on, but you bring in a really accomplished defensive line coach. Your defensive coordinator is still there. Don McKinley, who you came in with, is still there. Feels like you got a really good chance to be a key piece to the puzzle at LSU, and you jump in the transfer portal and end up pretty quickly at Kentucky. Now, I'm not sure if that's a Joe Sloan deal. Joe Sloan worked at Tech, has some relationships in Ruston. I'm sure, even though they're on different sides of the ball, different positions, the whole deal, I'm sure there was some consideration given there. That was probably the touch point for Bro to Kentucky, but And then you never know what revenue sharing offer is made, what NIL offer is made. Just curious to me that a Louisiana kid with eyes on the field and his cleats on the field really wants to go up to Kentucky. I thought that was an interesting thing that, I'll never probably understand why that decision was made, but here it is. Not a lot of activity for the LSU guys. Other than that, I did see that Tyree Adams visited Kentucky, so we'll see if that's a possibility. Ori Williams has been talked about in some SEC circles as well, so we'll keep posted on some of the LSU guys and where they may end up, but that's the two right now that Ahmad Bro to Kentucky, Cohen Eccles to Texas A&M. The other piece to this is Charlie Weiss Jr.'s name has been in the news, right? And the report came out yesterday. I would hesitate to call it a report. That there was a tweet that was sent out, like a name to watch maybe for the Giants offensive coordinator might be Charlie Weiss Jr. He's worked with Jackson Dart. And I read that and I went, well, okay, I mean, I understand the connection, right? I understand that Jackson Dart and Charlie Weiss Jr. worked together at Ole Miss. That makes sense. But they don't have a head coach. So I would have to imagine the head coach is going to have some say into the offensive coordinator is. So connecting a coach to the offensive coordinator position without a head coach didn't make a lot of sense to me. So Chris Lowe from On3 talks to Charlie Weiss and says, hey, what's the deal? And Charlie Weiss says, I have no interest in going to the NFL. I'm committed to coaching Ole Miss, and I'm committed to my future at LSU. Great. That's not binding or anything, but that storyline sounded a little bit fishy to me. It sounded a little bit fishy to me that LSU's offensive coordinator was hosting a big-time visitor in Sorsby from Cincinnati, and while that visit's going on, I've got a report that he might be going to the NFL to work for a coach that's not in place yet. That whole thing seemed a little bit weird. And here's my take on the situation with Charlie Weiss and Kevin Smith and George McDonald and Joe Cox and all these guys that are going back and forth between Oxford and LSU. Like, I get it. I understand. I understand that these guys who were working at Ole Miss, that helped put together a roster, they've been there multiple years, they've got this team that's on the precipice of making absolute history, and they would like to see that through. I think Lane Kiffin wanted to as well. But at a certain point, you're hosting and trying to put this team together, and it feels like Charlie Weiss Jr. and Kevin Smith are a big piece to helping recruit that team, and they're spending whatever percent of their time at Ole Miss. And they're on LSU's payroll. Like Pete Golding said last week, like, they're not employed by me. So, and I understand their want to do that, their desire to do that, but at a certain point, like, how badly is it hurting LSU? I'm not suggesting Ole Miss is doing anything wrong at all. But I wouldn't be mad at LSU if LSU went, look, we helped you out here, but we got work to do now. There was a dead period previously. That Tulane game, not a big deal. If they want to coach that, fine. Thought maybe you'd be over when they played Georgia, and then you'd be here for the portal window opening literally the next day. Okay. But then that didn't happen. So now it's just completely awkward, and to be quite honest, ridiculous. It's ridiculous that LSU has a coaching staff in place that needs to be working the transfer portal, and instead they're coaching at Ole Miss. And we talked about this last week on Friday after the game. Like, this might not continue because there's just too much messiness. The wires are too crossed. We got too much going on here with a tampering charge that Ole Miss is levying against Lane Kiffin, with guys that need to be working the transfer portal that are also preparing for a game. That it's ridiculous is what it is. And the fact that this is where we are as a sport, that the calendar is this mangled, that you've got to have this wild situation is crazy. Like, it didn't hurt much of anything that John Sumrall coach Tulane one more time. They were never going to win that game. He was always going to be in Gainesville, ready to go before the portal. That was never going to be an issue. But this is an issue. And I get why Ole Miss wants him there. I get why LSU should want him here. And honestly, weirdly, because I was never sympathetic really to Lane Kiffin about the departure from Ole Miss. He wanted to take the LSU job, good, then go. You don't stick around and coach the playoff, you go take the LSU job. Fine. I think that when I assess this, he could tell them, get your butts back here. Get to Baton Rouge. That's done. Sorry. He could tell them that. And he hasn't. And you could look at that and go, well, he's getting this huge bonus every time they win. Of course he wants them to go win. But also, he also wants to recreate what he did in Oxford in Baton Rouge and get to the playoff and have a chance to win a national championship. He needs players to do that. And it helps to have a recruiting staff there to make that happen. And some of those guys are splitting time between Ole Miss and Baton Rouge. So I think there's a side of it that Kiffin's doing more than he has to for Ole Miss. And no one in Oxford would ever reach and get to that conclusion. But he could tell him to stop. Pete Golding said that. I don't know what those conversations are like between Lane Kiffin and those 7 assistants, but if it was me, I'd probably be telling him, guys, I think I need y'all to come back and work the portal here. We've got a lot going on. We got guys leaving. We got guys visiting. We got guys signing. We got to evaluate other guys. Guys are going in the portal. We need you here. And I also don't know how much work they're doing on LSU's behalf and how much work they're doing on Ole Miss's behalf, but LSU's footing the bill for it. So at a certain point, you feel like it probably needs to break LSU's way. Maybe it's over on Thursday. Maybe it's not. But goodness gracious, is this a messy situation that these two football programs have put themselves in. It's wild, wild stuff. All right, still plenty to do here on this Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We're going to have Denton Day coming up here in about 20 minutes talking about the college football playoff. We'll ask him what he thinks about this Ole Miss team and whether or not they can get to the final and maybe win the whole thing. We'll see. Come back and talk LSU basketball. Tigers lose to Vanderbilt without their point guard. What does that mean for Tuesday? What does that mean back on Saturday? We'll do that next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
And every year we promise ourselves we're going to get in shape, right? It's January, New Year's resolution, going to get to the gym, going to get in shape, right? And then every year February rolls around and the gym's empty. Well, Ochsner wants to make sure that doesn't happen for you this year. The secret is keeping your resolutions doable, not daunting. So start small. Build momentum, stay consistent, do things you know you can do. Set specific goals. I'm going to run a 5K. Going to add a couple pounds of muscles. Make those stated goals. Then make them measurable. Track your workouts, track your runs, log your days. Make them achievable. Don't jump into 7 days a week, some wild routine that you can't sustain. Just make things realistic. Choose goals that work with your lifestyle. Give yourself a time frame and understand that small wins matter. Small wins absolutely matter. That's what Ochsner wants to help you with this year with their Kickstart for 2026. Set some wellness goals, make them specific, make them measurable, make them achievable, make them realistic. Give yourself a time frame and understand small wins matter. That's all courtesy of the folks at Ochsner.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me? Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. Helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All right. Got news on Friday with the SEC's availability report that Dedan Thomas Jr. would not be available for LSU at Texas A&M. And that is just a gut punch. LSU needs Dedan Thomas. He is the point guard. He is the conductor to this train. He creates the shots. He scores a lot. He's the missing piece to what Matt McMahon has been looking for 3 years. And it was a terrible, terrible time for him to miss a game because this was a road game against a team that you can beat. But you need your point guard because Texas A&M plays a frantic style. They full court press most of the game. They're high flying, high scoring. And you need your guy out there to handle the ball, to dictate the pace, to not turn it over, and to run the show and to score enough to handle A&M. And so you didn't have him in this game, and you go to Jalen Reese as the freshman point guard, and he's got to run the show. And I thought in the first half, and really for the first 30 minutes of the game, Jalen Reese played really well. I mean, his final stat line had 7 assists, and he made a couple field goals. He's never going to be a great shoot. Well, he's not a great shooter right now. Not going to be asked to shoot a lot. But he created shots for his teammates. He hit Nwoko on a couple pick and rolls, a couple really nice pocket bounce passes, a great lob over the top to Nwoko as well. He really did a pretty good job. And then you got to crunch time, and you had a chance late, and you got 2 turnovers in the backcourt from your freshman point guard that really cost you. And you went from being tied to down by 3 without ever crossing midcourt. You had 2 turnovers. They got to the free throw line a couple times and ended up getting 3 points out of it. And that's not stunning that he turned the ball over a couple times late. He finished with 3 turnovers. You had 16 turnovers as a team. LSU has not turned the ball over that much this year. And I think a lot of that's due to not having Dedan Thomas. Credit LSU and credit Matt McMahon. You fell behind early in this game, and you scratched out and got a lead late in the first half, and then you gave up 2 quick threes to take a 3-point lead to a 3-point deficit at the half. But then you fell behind again by 10 in the second half, ripped off an 8-0 run, got back in the game, took a lead late, but couldn't hold on to it. And that was because Nwoku and McKinnon were really, really good offensively for you. Nwoku, 7 of 10 from the floor and 7 of 10 from the free throw line. Gives you 21 points, but he got in foul trouble and I thought made what I deemed to be a pretty critical error. He had 4 fouls late in the game, under a minute to go. A&M gets the ball, and he essentially olays the guy backing him down and allows AG to just get right to the rim for the layup so he doesn't foul out. Well, at that point, you can't let him have 2 points. You've got to play defense. If you foul out, you foul out, but you've got to play defense. And he kind of got out of the way and allowed AG to get an easy basket there to add to Texas A&M's lead. But Nwoku was great. I knew that he was going to have to play more minutes than he generally does. He's usually right about 20, 22 minutes. He played 26 minutes in this game and was awesome. McKinnon did a great job, hit 4 of 9 threes, was 7 of 18 from the floor, but did dish out 5 assists in this game as a creator opposite Thomas. So between Reese and McKinnon, your 2 backcourt guys, they had 12 assists in this game. Like that's good basketball that those 2 guys played for the majority of the game. You just made a couple of mistakes late. I knew that LSU was going to need Texas A&M to struggle from the three-point line. Texas A&M takes a ton of threes. They make a ton of threes. When they're in that building at home, they get going. It's frantic, and they can really hurt you with the three-point shot. And they didn't for the majority of this game. They were 8 of 28. They shot just 29% from three-point land. You look at the second half, they were just 4 of 12 from three-point range. LSU, where they lost this game in part, was you had an edge with your size. With Nwoku, with Markel Sutton, with Robert Miller, with Tamba. Like, you had an advantage over an A&M team that's a little bit smaller. And you got beat on the glass by 8, and you tied in points in the paint. You allowed Texas A&M, a much smaller team, to get to be your equal with points in the paint. So, to me, this is a disappointing loss. Not disheartening, because I think if you have De'Don Thomas, there's a really good chance you win this game. And I think LSU at full strength is a middle-of-the-pack SEC team like Texas A&M that should be contending for the tournament. But still, you don't get any credit because you only lost by 3 and your point guard didn't play. Like, you don't get credit for that. You just lose the game. It's a zero-sum game. And now it sets up a game on Tuesday night at home against South Carolina that y'all know I hate the term must win, right? I hate it. Hate the term. So overused. And it's not a must win. It's not. It's not a must win. But if you look at LSU's schedule, you realize right now that they're 0-1 and that they've got a really mediocre South Carolina team coming in. If you lose that game and go to 0-2, all of a sudden it starts to look very, very daunting, because I don't like your chances the following week. The following week, you've got to play at Vanderbilt, who's number 11 in the country, and then you got to play Kentucky at home. And Kentucky is super talented. I think they spent like $13 million on this roster. Then you got Missouri, who's playing good basketball right now. Then you're at Florida and at Arkansas, who are both really good. And it could snowball on you. And you can't have it snowball. So I told you on Friday of last week, you really have to get one of these. And they had a chance to get this one. You were tied and had a lead under 5 minutes, under 4 minutes, under 3 minutes in this game in Reed Arena, even without your point guard. And you come up 3 points short. You can't come up short against South Carolina. It doesn't sound like De'Don Thomas is going to play tomorrow. There are not any specifics on this injury, but the tea leaves are suggesting he's probably going to miss the game, and we'll see at Vanderbilt. Maybe comes back next Wednesday against Kentucky. But you can't be 0-3 when that happens, welcoming Kentucky in with road trips to Florida and Arkansas coming up quickly. There's just there are not enough wins there. I don't think any less of LSU's team after Saturday. I don't at all. I think LSU's got a good team. That was impressive to hang in there the way they did. I think they're pretty good. But it doesn't matter if you're pretty good. What matters is how many games you win in the league. What matters is what your net says. What matters is what your quad 1 record is. And you took a step back on Saturday. Not debilitating, not demoralizing, just disheartening because you had a chance to win that game and couldn't quite get it done. So it's the worst guy they could have lost. The worst guy they could have lost. And there are still very manageable games coming on this schedule. Home game with Mississippi State, road game at South Carolina, home game against Georgia, road game against Texas, road game against Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Auburn, A&M. These are the end of your schedule. Your last 4 games are very winnable. Really, 5 of your last 6 games are really winnable. But you have to get there with something on the line. And it's just something got away on Saturday. Like you had a chance there. If Deon Thomas plays, I think there's a good chance you win that game. He didn't, and you didn't. So we'll see. I'm going to keep talking about these Tigers, and hopefully they rebound tomorrow. Home game against South Carolina, 6 o'clock tip. It'll be on ESPNU. I'm looking at ESPN.com right now. It says tickets as low as $5. So jump in there. Go see the Tigers play in the PMAC tomorrow, 6 o'clock against South Carolina. Got to get on the winning side of things in that game. Lost by 3 at Texas A&M. Tigers now 12-2 on the season. Let's switch back to the college football playoff. Denton Day next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com is that website. Benefits, employee benefits. The Highland Insurance Group can help you out with that. Jonathan Carver and his team would love to do it. I talked to him back in early December. He said, look, there's one carrier on the benefits side that's really gouging rates, and we're getting calls about it. People want another opinion, and we're happy to help them with that. So let them know. So if you're looking to renew your benefits as a business, you're looking to renew your health insurance, and you're looking at that renewal going, that's untenable. These increases have got to stop. It's just killing our bottom line. Well, talk to the Highland Insurance Group. They're an independent broker. They've got access to dozens of carriers. They can help you get a second set of eyes and get a second option when it comes to employee group benefits. It's the Highland Insurance Group. They're here in Baton Rouge, can help you out statewide. Check them out online, HighlandIG.com.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine Quality Solutions part of your playbook this season and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google, based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me. Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here, helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home, with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
This menu is a masterpiece, delivers every time.
This is the worst party ever. Raisin Cane's!
Let's go!
The party is saved!
Peter, Mr. Billingsley.
Celebrate the holidays with Raisin Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All right, just reached out to Denton Day, SiriusXM College Football Overtime. He's going to take a rain check for today, going to come back and join us tomorrow to talk college football playoff. We'll be a little closer to the playoff, which will kick off on Thursday, so we'll talk to Denton coming up on tomorrow's show. Look forward to that. Has been some news since we've been on the air. One more portal entrant from LSU's roster, Zion Williams, who all I know is his name's kind of like the basketball player. He's a defensive lineman, just finished his freshman season at LSU. He will enter the transfer portal. Not a guy that got a lot of time. It was not surprising to see some of those young defensive linemen jump in the portal. A lot of those guys were brought in by Bo Davis, who then never coached them at LSU. Bo Davis obviously took the job with the Saints, and Kyle Williams came in kind of last minute, and now you've made another change there, defensive line coach, and just not stunned to see some of those guys, Sydir Mitchell, move on as well. So it's not a stunner, and it's intimidating right now to look at LSU's roster. And I've gotten a couple text messages today that have been kind of pessimistic about where LSU sits right now. And here's kind of my big picture view on this entire situation. We are in a time that none of us have ever truly experienced. The massive amount of fluctuation in college football rosters year over year is new. And so we all got used to it being done a certain way. Now it's not done that way. So this huge change is hard for us to adapt to. And if you look at LSU right now and their roster and the numbers and the talent level, the returners and what you've got, like, it's intimidating. It's not great. You've got 2 running backs. You've got no quarterbacks. You've got somewhere in the neighborhood of 9 offensive linemen. You've got 2 wide receivers that have played any college football. One of them's a Hawaii transfer, and one of them's Nick Anderson, who's been hurt for 2 years. Like, the only position you're looking at on the offensive side of the football that's got good numbers is tight end. We talked about it in the first hour. You've got Trey'Dez Green back. You've got J.D. LaFleur back. You've added a tight end from Pittsburgh in the transfer portal, and you've added a freshman in J.C. Anderson. So you've got 4 guys there. You've got an All-American there. You've got some size there. You've got athleticism there. Tight end's like the only place on the offense that even looks remotely decent. Everything else is a mess. And that's hard to swallow. But keep in mind, it is not uncommon at all for Lane Kiffin to go add 25 portal guys. He did it in Oxford, and he can do it in Baton Rouge. Now, the highest profile guys that he's going after are quarterbacks. And you know that you're not getting Trinidad Chambliss now, and you know that you're not getting Brendan Sorsby right now, and we'll see what happens with Sam Leavitt. And I have told you already how important I think it is that they get Sam Leavitt. But the fact of the matter is that right now, it's not going to do you any good as an LSU fan to just sweat. This is a long process. It's not as if it's new to this LSU staff. It's not new to Lane Kiffin. It's not new to Billy Glasscock. They know the agents. They've got funding. They're getting visitors. It's just slower than you want it. How are we used to rosters being put together? It's easy. You're used to signing day coming and 24 guys signing on the dotting line between 7:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. 24 guys. Boom. That's not how this works. The portal opens and everybody goes in. Now it's visit time. Agents are on the phone. How much you got in rev share, NIL possibilities? Okay, That's enough. We'll put you on our list. See you Tuesday. And he's still talking to this guy and this guy. Do you have that? Okay, we'll fly there on Wednesday, and we can go there Thursday, and we'll make our decision after that. And that's all going on right now. LSU is not violently missing on a bunch of portal guys. Like, yeah, they wanted Sorsby. He didn't come. That's not going to be the last guy to visit Baton Rouge and go somewhere else. My advice to you as an LSU fan is not to hyperventilate looking at Twitter or On3 or 24/7 or Tiger Droppings or whatever it is. Just let the process play out. Just let the process play out. I'm not going to panic about LSU's roster on January 5th. The portal has been open 2.5 days. Now we get to January 23rd, and I'm looking at this roster, and I still have 1 quarterback, 5 wide receivers, and 11 offensive linemen. Start to panic a little bit. That's not enough. But that staff is moving. That staff is shaking. That staff's gotten quarterbacks in. That staff's added 3 offensive skill position players in the last 24 hours. No, none of them were 5-star former All-Americans. You didn't sign Caleb Downs or Jamison Williams. But you've got continuity on defense. You've got an elite offensive brain trust. And you're going to get some players to cycle in. Give it the week. Give it the week. Let this staff have a week to continue visits and to ultimately decide on its roster. My guess is, it's a guess, this is a guess, but it's a reasonable guess, I think, is that LSU will restock the shelves. They'll get some high-level prospects. They'll get some guys that no one's ever heard of. They'll put the roster together. You got the head coach. He got his staff. I thought in player retention you did very well. Would I like Kyle Parker back? Yeah. Would I like Carius Kern back? Yeah. Would I take Ahmad Bro? Yeah, absolutely. There are a few others. But you kept Pickett and you kept Barry. And there are some other guys on that list that you wanted to keep around. And you did. Got Woodland back and got safety position outside of Spears. I mean, Spears goes in the portal and then decides to come back, so you kept him. So you got the retention. Now it's just a slower process than National Signing Day. Boom. You just got to wait through this entire period. And I'm having to adjust to it just like most of you are having to adjust to it. And there's going to be a national narrative out there that Kiffin's swinging and missing on some guys. That's largely coming from Athens, where they're still upset. Sorry, not Athens. They're upset in Athens, too. Largely in Oxford, where they're upset. But Levitt's a key piece. If you get Levitt in the boat in the next 48 hours, continue to work out that offense, I think you start to move in the right direction. And I also think that if you can get Levitt in, if you can make sure he doesn't get on the plane, whenever that's scheduled to happen, without committing, make sure he commits while he's in Baton Rouge. All of a sudden, that opens up wide receivers' eyes. That opens up running backs' eyes. That opens up offensive linemen eyes. Maybe defensive players. They see, okay, they got that guy that went to the playoff. That seems pretty good. What kind of money you got? Okay, that's good. Okay, this is good. But if you don't add Levitt and you don't have a quarterback, that all of a sudden is a tougher sell. It's just tougher to get guys on board. So it's slow. I get it. People are frustrated and flustered. And you want it to be quicker, and you want LSU to take that Lane Kiffin hire and just rocket ship to the top of the league. That's a tall ask. Tall ask. But you can make some hay this week, and that's what I'm counting on to this point. You've added 3. Got a lot of exits. Got to find another entrant here or 2 in the next couple of days, and you've got to ultimately find 30 of them, just about, which is daunting. But this is a staff that knows what they're doing. I talked about this on Friday. Like having a coaching staff responsible for negotiating with 105 guys over the course of 2 weeks is a bit much, but I guess that's why they get paid a ton of money. Make that happen. So we'll take a time out a little bit earlier than normal, and we'll surf the web, see if there are any happenings on the recruiting pitch transfer portal site, and then we'll close out our Monday edition here at the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge, swingeasygcbr.com. Swing into the new year over at Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. I love playing on the golf simulator. I really do. Probably a lot of you out there that play some golf but have never played on the simulator. Well, how realistic is it? It's pretty damn realistic. Is it perfect? Is it a carbon copy of golf? No. Is it fun, entertaining, useful? Yes, it is. The technology was so accurate when I was there at Swing Easy Golf Club, hitting all those shots, trying to make that hole-in-one challenge. It knew when I put enough spin on the ball to spin it back on the green. It knew when I didn't, and it would roll out. It knows when you get it out there on the toe and hook it. When you cut inside and cross it, slice it. You're looking to work on your game, or looking to have some fun playing on the golf simulator. Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge can help you out with that. Play Pebble Beach. Play TPC Sawgrass. Play TPC Louisiana. Play Bethpage Black. Pay one of the most famous courses in the world right there on a golf simulator and do it in an hour's time. It'll take 5 hours to play around a golf at Swing Easy. Go by and see him. Segan at Perkins. Segan at Perkins. The Swing Easy Golf Club. Online, swingeasygcbr.com.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
I started the Diddy documentary a few days ago. Have you watched this?
Yes, I have. Unfortunately, yes,
I only watched the first episode, so not a lot of meat on the bone just yet here. But doesn't seem to be trending in a very positive situation.
One could say, yeah. I'm going to say, there's various ways to look at it. One could say it's definitely not trending in the right direction.
Okay.
I
guess I'm going to finish it. I mean,
I will say this, Hunt. I finished it. It's very well put together.
Okay.
Like 50 Cent did a really good job of not only portraying Diddy in this light, but also like getting people close to him. That's where I feel like it does a really good job because it actually has people that worked with him in the documentary. So you can't be like, oh, these are like, no, these people was actually with him.
And like, not to go way off the deep end on this, but we got a few minutes. Like, I watched the Jeffrey Epstein documentary just like 3-4 weeks ago as well.
The Netflix one?
It really does blow my mind. It doesn't blow my mind that there are people that are evil that do very bad things.
Yeah.
But like the people that let them get away with that and facilitate that. The woman that was like Jeffrey Epstein's right-hand woman that was recruiting all these kids.
Yeah.
How do you become that person?
Yeah. I mean, it makes it even more sick, the fact that it was going, like, I'm pretty sure, like, if I'm not mistaken, they caught him and then did nothing, and he just got right back to it.
Just right back at it.
Got right back to it. So
she's just out there re-recruiting them. Come on in. Come on.
Yeah.
Give some massages. Great. I mean, no, don't do that.
But it shows you, though, it truly does show you that once you accumulate enough money and wealth, you can do anything in this country. You could literally do anything.
It's a tough scene out there.
Very tough.
Not very good at all. All right, to recap the show today, news of the day. Sam Levitt in Baton Rouge at 1 o'clock is the word. So he would be in the very, very early stages of his discussions here in Baton Rouge. No clue if this is like a full-on recruiting pitch or if this is more of like a Joe Burrow comes in, let me sit down, watch tape, talk to me a little bit. Okay, that's fine. Are they doing the photo shoot this time around? Are they doing the who knows?
I did see it's multiple days.
Okay.
So he's going to be here a couple of days.
All right. Well, so we'll see how that all shakes out. We'll certainly talk about it. But I mentioned at the top of the show how important I think this is for LSU, and I also touched on it there at the in the last segment. LSU has added 3 transfers into this class. They got a receiver from Hawaii, Jackson Harris. They got a running back from Utah, my name is Racine Guillory. And they also got a tight end from Pittsburgh in this class. Not the biggest name additions, but you got to get dudes on the offensive side of the ball because you were significantly short on numbers. So that's the news of the day to this point. Also, earlier today, Trinidad Chambliss agrees to his terms with Ole Miss, depending on whether or not he can get clearance for a waiver. I read more about the appeal that he gave, and they're arguing that he had to sit out a year with respiratory issues caused by enlarged tonsils.
What?
That's the claim. So we'll see how that goes. Like, it's a huge financial thing for Trinidad Chambliss. You're talking about making $4 million if you can come back and play at Ole Miss, which is roughly what a third-round pick in the NFL draft makes. But you never know. It's like a 50-50 split on these cases with these appeals for an extra year of eligibility. They're talking about medical records that exist wherever he was in Ferris State. I don't know why it takes so long. I feel like if you gave me the rules and the case, I could probably come up with something in a couple of hours. I realize that Trinidad Chambliss is not the only case that they're hearing, and that can take some time as well, but it just feels like this drags out so long, and it's putting really LSU and Ole Miss behind the 8 ball because they can't wait. You've got to go get a quarterback. And Ole Miss to this point has not. They're kind of putting their eggs in that basket. You're going to lose Austin Jackson, who's going to go probably to Missouri. And then, like, if Chambliss doesn't get that extra year, like, I don't know exactly where Ole Miss turns from there, but you're kind of holding them hostage. Well, you need answers. And right now, we just don't have one. So the thought is, and Ross wrote this in his piece over at Yahoo, which, by the way, Ross, National Sports Writer of the Year. Congratulations to him for that awesome honor. But it just seems like you got to get some clarity on this time in the calendar. You want to drag your feet in November on it? Fine. When it gets to January, you need a call. Somebody's got to make a call. So we'll see how that goes. But LSU not going to get him. And then we'll see about Kejuan Lacey. There are rumblings that Lacey will be back in Oxford next year. I think we'll just kind of have to see how that all shakes out. Kevin Smith will be LSU's running backs coach. Apparently, he went back to Oxford yesterday as they prepare for Miami. It's just it's musical chairs on the plane at this point to see where you are and what you're doing in those spots. I talked about it earlier this hour. Like, I'd like LSU's coaches to come coach LSU now, but not the case at this point. They're still ping-ponging back and forth. Take it or leave it?
Yeah, let's get it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Presented to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer, crafted by America's oldest brewery. Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
Flight by Yingling, next generation of light beer. Looking to try some different beers in this new year? Hey, Flight by Yingling, great option for you if you haven't had it. Looking for a light beer? It is that, 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, but it packs that flavor you're looking for in a crisp, refreshing beer. So next time you're stopping by to pick up a 6-pack, pick up a 12-pack, Flight by Yingling, next generation of light beer.
Okay, let's start it off with the New York Giants. So despite losing double-digit games for the third consecutive season, Joe Shane will return as the general manager for the Giants next season because ownership feels he has built a good young core that can turn things around. So the Giants making the right move, take it or leave it.
I mean, I'll probably leave it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know every move the Giants have made. And I know they do have some really good young talent, especially on the defensive line. I got that. Maybe you got the quarterback in Jackson Dart, and so maybe that's what you're leaning that way. Malik Neighbors is a pretty good player, but you lose a lot every year. This guy's always there. And doesn't matter the coach, the draft class, whatever the case may be, they lose. So we'll see. I think it's aggressive.
No, if you ask me, he should have lost his job right after the Saquon thing came out when they did the Hard Knocks and he's on, and they got him. Oh, if Saquon goes to the Eagles, I'm gonna be hurt, and he ended up going to the Eagles
and set records.
And won a championship.
Won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so that right there, he should have got up out of there. All right, so the Ravens missed a game-winning field goal last night versus the Steelers, and it was shown pregame that a priest was blessing the end zone with holy water, the same end zone the Ravens missed the game-winning field goal in. So did the Lord send the Steelers to the playoffs? Take it or leave it.
I'll leave it. I don't know that he had everything to do with it, but hey, whatever you need to do to try to win the game, you do it. You need to put some holy water in that end zone, make it happen. I'm all for it. You need to win the game, you pull out all the stops, but that's disheartening. The Ravens had about a decade where they made every kick.
Oh yeah.
And now not, and Lamar's face, and then the post-game press conference.
Oh
man, that's a tough scene for him. I'm so upset that you felt like in the middle of Burrow's prime, like you're looking Chiefs, you're looking Ravens. Those are two of the teams you absolutely have to hurdle. And they were bad this year and didn't make the playoffs, and the Bengals were even worse because Burrow got hurt. So that's a bummer.
And also the Steelers, again, go 9-8.
Yes, that's what Tomlin's going to do.
And squeeze into the playoffs just to get bounced in the first round. It's like we didn't see in this movie plenty of times.
Yep.
So you already spoke about the contract being a third rookie, whatever contract. So the Texas Tech new quarterback, Brendan Sorsby, will earn more than $5 million in his one season at Texas Tech. Shedeur Sanders' entire 4-year rookie contract is valued at $4.6 million. So $5 million for 1 year, $4.6 for 4 years in the NFL. Has NIL gotten out of hand? Take it or leave it.
I'll definitely take that. Now, the question I would have, and I just simply don't have an answer. I don't know. But how is Texas Tech justifying paying him $5 million through the clearinghouse? Like, what added value is he bringing to a brand to warrant that? I know that they've got him lit up in Times Square today.
Yeah, I've seen
But
that.
I don't know who's involved in that or what it's promoting or what the case may be. I know that Texas Tech has $5 million. I don't have any issue with that. I got it. But, like, if the clearinghouse is going to determine, yes, he is worth that $5 million, I need to know, like, in what way. I've said this a few times, and I mean it, so I say it again. It's hard to analyze something you don't fully grasp or have all the information on.
Yeah.
I don't know what the agreement is and what the clearinghouse sees and how they clear it. I don't have any problem on its face with Brendan Sorsby getting $5 million. But if these are the rules and I'm in charge of, like, shaping an opinion based on what the rules are and analyzing the sport based on what the rules are, like, I don't know what he is doing to warrant $5 million other than playing football, which is not supposed to be the way it works. So I don't know.
So if I had to ask you this real quick, do you feel that once you give a quarterback like this $5 million, is national championship a bust, like, immediately?
I mean, at Texas Tech, you're telling me they win the Big 12, get a bye, win 2 playoff games, and then lose in the title that they've failed. Like, that's tough for me to see. But what you had there is a perfect storm for Sorsby. You had a team on the come with a very rich donor base that just went to the bowl game and got shut out. So now you become the guy, and they're not going to say no to that. So there you are.
So that's it for Take It or Leave It.
That's it for Take It or Leave It here on this Monday. Full week for us here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Want to remind you 2 things. One, we're writing every transfer portal edition at louisianasports.net, and I will have a portal profile on every person that LSU adds to its roster, kind of describing the type of player and the fit that they are. It's all free over at louisianasports.net. Also, if you want information if and when news breaks, if Sam Leavitt commits to LSU or whatever the case may be, and we write a story, we also push those out on the 104.5 ESPN app. So we don't. It's not something we do 5 times a day. We do it when breaking news happens. If you want access to that breaking news when it happens, to get it sent directly to your phone, just download the 104.5 ESPN app and then enable notifications, and we will send you those notifications when breaking news does happen. So that's my louisianasports.net spiel for you. If you missed any of the show today, catch it on demand. Hunt on Saints, all our Saints stuff. Hunt on LSU. All our LSU stuff. We'll be grinding through what's going to be a very, very busy week. Matt's back. He's going to drive you home next on After Further Review. We'll see you tomorrow for a Tuesday edition of The Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Fabry Chevrolet GMC. You know the Fabry name. They've been here 3.5 decades, 35 years in business here in Baton Rouge. And you know when you deal with the Fabry family, you're going to get wonderful customer service. You're going to have an awesome buying experience, and you'll be able to get any make and model service in the service department as well. Fabry's have had 3 locations, 5 different brands now. So proud to have Chevrolet GMC under the Fabry family of autos. Look, you're talking about Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Just a quick drive up the road to St. Francisville. Got a huge inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles. Chevy Tahoe, Chevy Silverado, Chevy Suburban, all those there for you from the GMC if you're looking for an SUV. Sierras, Yukons, or Denali's. Go by and see them in St. Francisville on Highway 61. You can check them out at fabrychevrolet.com. Again, under new ownership since October the 1st, it's Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Check them out online, fabrychevrolet.com, fabrychevrolet.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world